Hello, Matt Bland here, sitting in for Dave Roberts, who's away sunning himself in old Singapore this week. And joining me on the couch for this week's show, we've got Mr. Ben Lamb. How are you doing, Ben?
Good, yeah, good to be back.
Excellent. And we've got our very own Neil Dyball, who's sitting in for a guest who couldn't make it today. So hello, Neil.
Hello.
Thanks for sitting in at the last minute, matey.
Anytime to help out.
Brilliant. Well, there was no match at the weekend. We had an international game, but we are still going to talk about the Borough because that's what we do. So let's kick off with the transfer window. Middlesbrough's had some pretty decent buys, actually. They've 10 signings altogether. How do you think, Ben? How do you think the team's going to fare with these new signings?
I think we're making all the right noises. We've signed, I think, a Sombalonga, House, and that's a real big statement to the rest of the league. Others are sort of an unknown entity, I think, particularly, what's his name from Oxford?
That would be Johnson.
Johnson, yeah, that's it. Yeah, Johnson for, what was it, about 3 million paid for? So I think we're a mixture of established players who could take us up and some who are a bit unproven. I mean, you know, Shotton's been Birmingham for a while. I don't really know necessarily what he's got to offer. So I think if it pays off for Monk, he'll look like an absolute genius. If it doesn't, it might be a case of, well, you know, I told you so, potentially.
Neil, with the signings that we got, mate, do you think we've got a good chance of promotion this season?
Ideally, I mean, I had Middlesbrough down as being the ones to trailblaze, set the bar at a high level, and for us to go and smash it from what our chairman was saying, certainly. But the signing of a Sombalonga for me, I mean, 15 million. He looks like he could be brilliant, but I had concerns when we were linked with him and the prices which were going around saying as high as they were going, and thinking about, you know, if there was any other teams coming in for him, you know, Premier League, he'd be off there, but no one seemed to, and it did get me concerned to start with, but it's just waiting for him to bed in, and obviously he's scored for us as it is, so I mean, you know, hopefully he's going to settle down and bang more in for us.
What do you think about that, Ben? Do you agree with what Neil's saying, or do you think there's more than the team could add?
Yeah, no, I think I'm happy. You can't bring in too many new players, otherwise then the just balance from the experienced players who were there and the team spirit that's still there completely goes out the window. We all remember the terrible Strachan era where he brought in about 11 new Scottish players who just almost relegated us, so I think...
I couldn't cut the mustard.
No, yeah, exactly, and they went straight back up there as soon as they realised that it wasn't, you know, League Two. So, no, yeah, I'm slightly worried that I'm hoping a lot of... I was worried that we were maybe... other teams were taking a lend off us, like, oh, Borough, they've got loads of money, yeah, you will sell him for 15 million. There were a lot of big numbers, but I do tend to think that they have got their heads screwed on at the top, I would say.
I mean, Traore was looking like he was hoping to move, didn't happen, same with Downing. So with them staying, do you think that they'll get more involved with the team? Do you think that Monk will keep them more involved with the first two?
I'd like to think that Stuart Downing would be. I mean, I'm a big fan of his because I think he, you know, you can certainly tell when he's not playing because they lack creativity. Sorry. And Traore, he's, you know, obviously when we first got him, he was running like you wouldn't believe, but he just lacks an end product.
Kind of Janino about him, wasn't there? As soon as he got the ball, he was, you know, undercutting everyone, getting around defenders, but he just never had somebody up front to help him out to get that ball in the back of the net. Do you think that might change this season with the signings?
Yeah, could do, potentially, definitely. I think Howson's maybe someone who, and maybe even Christie, or he can cross a ball, hopefully for him. He just needs that bit of help. Like you say, he's got the strength, the power, the pace, but he couldn't cross it to save his life. I would say, yeah, which is a bit disappointing. As for Downing, he's a real sort of Marmite player at the moment. I was for the Preston North End. I was sat in the South Stand, and there were a lot of boos coming down, and people sort of starting on those who were booing, saying you can't boo him, he's our player. And it seems to, I think he's got a lot to prove, and if he's staying, then he needs to step up a bit for me. I think he's got all the attributes there. You know, he's a proven Premier League player, but let's just have a bit of passion there.
I mean, hopefully he could take some of the newer players that we've signed that maybe not as experienced and say put an arm around him saying, well, you should be doing this, or
Yeah.
maybe give Traore some pointers into how to take the ball from. I mean, obviously he's got the pace and some of the skill, but he's just lacking an end product at the moment. But hopefully, you know, as much as I don't want to be in the Championship, it's kind of a place for him to, you know, put forward and say, look, this is what I can do. And maybe the players are going to be slightly lacking, or they're not as good as the Premier League. So it's whether we can just push on, he can push on from there.
Right. Okay, then we'll probably come back to that later on. But first, we've got Joe Nicholson in. He's keeping my seat warm with social media.
Yep, international break this week, but still plenty going on Twitter. We'll start with Gary Monk. He said, pleased with the work done by everyone at Borough during this busy window. It's time to concentrate fully on the games ahead. After signing on deadline day, Borough's latest signing, Marvin Johnson, tweeted, delighted to start a new chapter with Borough. I'd like to thank everyone at Oxford for giving me this opportunity. All the best this season. Moving on to Cyrus Christie, who was involved in the Republic of Ireland's 1-0 defeat to Serbia on Tuesday night. He tweeted after the game, devastated from our performance, tough loss to take, apologies, I have to do better with the chances. The support drove us on. And finally, some good news for Borough's Luxembourg defender Enes Mamutovic, who plays with the under-23 side. The 20-year-old missed his country's goalless draw with France last week through injury, but still tweeted, well done guys, big point against one of the best nations in the world. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with us, you can use the hashtag RedArmyTV or tweet us at Borough Red Army. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks very much, Joe, for keeping your seat warm, and you're doing a grand job there with the social media. Right, guys, we were going to talk about team selection and who is our strongest 11. Let's start with you, Ben. You've picked up a starting 11 for your squad. Would you just like to go through who you chose? Starting off with goalkeeper Randolph.
Yeah. So I put Randolph in goal. He's probably the first player I think's bedded in really well. He's a complete outsider. He had nothing to do against Preston North End apart from one worldy save where he had to reach right for the corner and pulled it off. So I think great. He could be the difference. He could keep us 11 points over the season. I've gone quite a conservative choice really, because I think, you know, most of these players promoted us last year. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I've got Gibson left back, I've got Gibson Fry centre back, Fabio right back, Friend left back, because I think they've got the pace to take us forward. I think Fry's been absolutely great. He's almost sort of what Gibson was to the Premier League last season. He's really come along and matured as a player, really confident. People can't get past him. Great. So that's my solid defence. In the middle, I've got Clayton, Ledbetter, Forshaw. I think Clayton and Ledbetter play really well together. Howson's been really, it's just not quite working for him. So I think we need that experienced, we need those safe hands who who not only dominate midfield but can also create chances, get some good crosses in. Forshaw's a bit like that as well. He passes forward, which is something we really need to do. Then I've got three up front: Assombalonga, Bamford, Gusted. I think Assombalonga, Gusted, they have that strength there. They can be a target man for Ledbetter. All you need them to do is put the head on the end of it. But I think I've sort of got Bamford in there maybe as a sneaky number 10 almost. I think he actually creates a lot. That's why he's got man of the match. He's a different player to what we had before, who's scoring a lot of goals. I think he actually creates a lot, and he was really missing in that bizarre formation we had against Preston.
Excellent, that's good. Team Neil, just quickly going through yours. You've gone for a 3-4-3 start up, and you've started off with a goalkeeper Randolph.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Darren Randolph. I mean, Premier League experience. I mean, to be truthful, I don't think he wanted to leave West Ham, or West Ham wanted to release him, but as it was, we got him, which was brilliant, because I mean, he looks the business. I'll go for the three at the back, which would be... You've
got Fry, Gibson and Elia.
I'd probably have Gibson in the middle, like I said, because it's obviously, you want him to be the rock at the back, and, you know, marshalling the other two. And ideally, I would want it as a 3-1-3-3, but 3-4-3 as it is. But the defensive midfielder being Forshaw, because I'd want someone to be playing in front of the back three, who could then take the ball out, who could then maybe, if need be, fall back into and make it a 4 at the back, if you know ever get attacked for.
Right, and just round up your team, you've got their Foreshore, Baker, Traore, Downing, Gestede, Assombalonga and Bamford. So yeah, you've picked some decent 11 squads there, I would say personally. Right, coming back to you guys, we've got Bolton away on the 9th of September. There are some seats remaining. Departures 9 o'clock from Gisborough Coach Station, 20 past 9 Redcar High Street, 20 to 10 Six Meadows Pub in Borough and 9:55 Anson Farm Pub Thornaby. Under 18s £16 and adults £20, so get your seat booked now. We'll have more after the break. Welcome back, second half of Red Army TV. Matt Bland here, sitting in for Dave Roberts. I've got Ben Lamb and Neil Dyball on the couch with me today. Very soon we're going to be previewing the Bolton game this weekend, but first let's talk about communication problems with the club. Now, there have been obviously a few issues regarding the Gazette. Do you think that's partly why the club have been a little bit tight-chested with news so far?
Yeah, it's been odd. I like to think I'm still relatively quite young-ish, but I can't remember a time where there's been this sort of friction between local media outlets and the club. It's not really a good image to have. We don't look unified. I remember when Robbie Savage rang up Derby Radio and it went viral all over YouTube because of things they'd been reporting, and it's not healthy. Didn't it all kick off when the Gazette had reported that a player had been bought for a certain fee, and suddenly Middlesbrough made this statement saying, "Only come to us for your news." It was a bit like, "Oh, handbags! What's going on here?"
Obviously, the local press is obviously key to get the news out from Middlesbrough. Obviously, with the internet now, and social media, they've got other ways of getting this news out to you. So, Neil, do you think things should be patched up between the Gazette and Middlesbrough, or do you think it's just let Middlesbrough crack on where things are?
I think years ago, certainly when I was growing up, any kind of news as regards to the club, you'd kind of look at the Gazette as if they were the Holy Bible. They'd say how it was, and it was like Eric Perler and Phil Tallentire. I think he's still there, but there was that was the place to get your news. Well, obviously there's like the internet now, so I mean there's probably 100 different ways of looking up on the internet to find news or news outlets that might be reporting on it. So I don't know whether that's kind of a take on Middlesbrough's views that that if you want the gospel truth, come to us rather than going to an outside source.
I mean, there's been very few injuries reported. For example, we've heard very little when Braithwaite became injured. Do you think the club should be really giving the fans the news about players like that, or do you think it's they just put a brief comment on the likes of Twitter and
I think that
it's not use local media for things like that?
I think that it's more that Middlesbrough now they're taking control of it. So maybe it's just the way that things are now. Or maybe they've looked at other clubs and how they handle certain situations with regard to reporting. I don't know, but it's
very briefly, Ben. Do you have input on that?
Yeah, I don't know why this has all happened so suddenly. It seemed to work really well through the Premier League. I mean, because they offered their sort of this premier product. I was always listening to their podcasts. They were getting all their news. It just seemed to be really healthy. And then suddenly, a slight disagreement about something, and it's just cards very close to the chest. It's I just hope they can kiss and make up, really.
Right. Okay. Well, we've got more to come. Obviously, we've got the preview, the Bolton game coming up the weekend, and we get your predictions as well for that. But let's catch up what is happening with the latest news. Back from our holidays, here's our Nordic beauty, Heidi Spencer.
Darren Randolph and Cyrus Christie were in action once again when Northern Ireland lost 1-0 to Serbia in Dublin on Tuesday. Both Christie and Randolph performed with merit, tackles, intervention and saves, but there was nothing they could do to prevent former Manchester City man Alexander Colleran scoring the only goal of the game. After a 1-1 draw with Georgia last Saturday, the result leaves Ireland in third place in the group with 2 games left to play of their World Cup qualifying campaign. Borough defender Dale Fry made his debut for England under 21s as they kicked off their European Championship qualification campaign with a 1-1 draw against the Netherlands. Fry played the full 90 minutes for the Young Lions. Meanwhile, Mikel Suisalo did not feature for Finland under 21s in their 2-2 friendly draw against Austria as he makes his way back from injury. The Riverside Stadium will play host as England's under-21 takes on Scotland in the European Championship qualifying on the 6th of October. It's shaping up to be another exciting journey where England will be hoping to put on a similar show to their last visit to Teesside when Gareth Southgate's side beat Germany 3-2 in a thrilling performance back in March 2015. And if you have any news you would like to share with us, please get in touch. News at RedArmy.tv or via social media at Borough Red Army. And back to you, Matt.
Thanks very much for that, Heidi. Great tan, by the way. Right, chaps, starting with you, Neil. Bolton at the weekend. How do you think the game's going to go for the Borough? Do you think we could get a win out of it?
I'd like to think so, certainly. I mean, obviously last time we played Bolton, it was when old J-Dog got those 2 goals and scored late on to get the win. You know, we went behind. And here's a question for you, Matt. Who scored the 2 goals when we played them at home?
Rhodes was one,
No.
wasn't he? No?
No, it was Kike. Kike got them both.
I don't know. throw these trivia at the presenter, mate.
Well, throwing you off you. Sorry.
It's not cricket. Right, Ben, what about yourself? Do you think we've got a good chance of, or should I say, is this the sort of game we need to win to get promotion?
Oh, absolutely. We're in a very difficult place because Gary Monk, he can't work miracles overnight. It's a rebuilding job. Like you say, players aren't quite bedded yet. They don't quite know their place. They're not quite fitting in. It's just not clicking sometimes. But if we're going to get promoted, we need to be smashing these teams like Preston, Sheffield, and of course Bolton. They've only just recently got promoted, so after being relegated, I think. So, yeah, absolutely. If we're going to smash the league, Gibson's word, not ours, then yeah, absolutely. 4-0, why not?
I mean, I'll throw this out to you, Gavin. Do you think that, I mean, a lot of fans say it's too early to start dismissing or not. It's too early to predict the Borough won't get promoted or will be going down. Is that true? Do you think now this half of the season is vital to keep us on track for promotion?
Oh, absolutely. If we can't pick up 3 points there, then people start looking back to the sort of games we've had and said, oh, well, they probably didn't get promoted because of that. I mean, it is quite early to say, oh, they're bang on going to, you know, they're nailed on for promotion. But, you know, the top 2 teams that do go up automatically are there or thereabouts, or they start to become thereabouts this time in the season. So if that's what we're going to do, then we need to start getting those crosses in, I think.
Neil, can you add to that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I concur with what Ben was saying, that it's, you know, in the long run, or certainly the long sight, the cream rises to the top, and I think Middlesbrough will be up there. As regards to the Bolton game, I mean, I don't think Bolton are doing that particularly well. I think that they're on the bottom, to be truthful. So, I mean,
they've only got 2 points.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully we will be going there, and we will be, well, laying down the law and saying, right, this is what you're going to get.
But sometimes Middlesbrough can be unpredictable with teams like that. We kind of the bottom teams who are the strugglers seem to do well over us than what we do with the top flight teams. Yeah. So do you reckon that could possibly happen?
Well, there's always the banana skin option. I mean, as many Middlesbrough fans will probably say, oh, it's you know, typical Borough to play against a team that's struggling or maybe not in the best of form, and then play against us and just have a complete worldie, and it's just like, where did that come from, or why didn't we say that? But I mean, hopefully Gary will have everyone clued in, really up for it, and then we'll go there and we'll just smash them. So then, predictions. What do you think the score is going to be, Neil, this weekend? Well, I mean, it was 2-1 last time we played there, so I mean, I'm saying 2-1 again. 2-1. Who do you think is going to be the first scorer? Sombalonga, I think he'll get both, because he's a big man and he's got skill, and I think he's going to bang in the goals this season. I think he'll be there. Ben, what about yourself? Yeah, similar. I think 3-1. I think they always get the first goal. It'll be some fluke, and we'll look like we're down and out, and then Sombalonga's going to get 2 in, and then Bamford's going to get 1 in. Come on, Bamford. Yeah.
He needs it. He needs it too, I think.
He needs it. So, I mean, looking ahead at some of the other matches, do you think we've got a good chance of maybe get 3 points out of the next 2 games?
Who've we got after Bolton? I can't even remember.
We got Villa away,
oh yeah. Oh, yeah. I think we'll beat them. Their confidence is a bit shot. They managed I think the fans got the pitchforks out for the manager because they're not quite doing that well. Although Zodoma's still there, he seems to do well against former teams. So
yeah, well,
he'll have something to say.
I think did we win 2-1 or 3-1 last time we played there? I'm sure we won, but we drew at our place, but.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, well...
Let's get Bolton out of the way first and then we'll go from there. Right, talking about Bolton, we've still got seats remaining for the coach for Bolton away on Saturday. Departures 9 o'clock from Gisborough Coach Station, 9:20 from Redcar High Street, that's next to the bus station. 20 to 10 from Six Meadows Pub in Borough and 5 to 10 Anson Farm, Thornaby. Under 18s tickets going to cost you £16 and adults £20. Right guys, thanks very much for being in the studio with us. That's it for us this week. We'll be back next week. Enjoy the rest of your week.